Here live at The Rock, Jackson Kennedy, Dima, Mixon here with 4th Street Sports, sponsored by SM2Media.com, so I'm a student media. That's the new branding that we have to do, Jackson. We have to say that each time, so get used to it. I'm kidding. We just watched Fall Camp Scrimmage 2. There's a good bit of fans out here, a lot of stuff. But you know what everybody was watching, Jackson? They were watching the quarterback battle. And it is, Will Hall said yesterday, he has seen separation from a player. We're going to be talking about this way more on the podcast, so you can get more of this on the podcast. But we're going to mark it down right now. Jackson, who is starting for Southern Miss Golden Eagles QB1 against Alcorn State September 2nd?
He's putting me on the spot, guys. He's putting me on the spot. However, I just want to expand upon that. So Will Hall said yesterday that he has seen some separation in the quarterbacks. He said, whenever you have this much data, you're obviously going to see some separation. And as of yesterday, from my talks with Dima, it seemed like who he was speaking of was Holman Edwards. Yes. Holman Edwards had a better day yesterday. He's looked a little bit better this week. But today, there was a clear separation in the opposite way. Billy Wiles had a better day today, in my opinion. I don't know if that was solely because of the quarterback or because of outside factors. You know, Holman was under a lot of pressure, but so was Billy, and it looks like Billy could just get off better reads. He got better reads off. He made better passes. Both of them had one interception today, but Holman's was just a poor read, or the wide receiver wasn't really running the route that he needed to be running, and he threw it pretty much directly into the chest of a DB. And Billy Wiles' interception, it was a deep ball, about a 40-yard pass, and it was to Brandon Hayes, but Brandon Hayes was being held, like, I'm not even kidding. They were grabbing him like this, and then Jay Stanley ran in front of him and got it. So I'm pretty sure that probably would have been a DPI penalty if I was watching that in a game, just because I was on the field, so I got to see it kind of parallel to me, and these guys were holding on to each other. So it could have been a DPI, but it wasn't really anything. It was a good read. It was a good pass by Billy. So I really do think that Billy Wiles had the better day, because even in stuff like the deep ball and moving to stuff like the short yardage package, Billy Wiles just looked more impressive. He looked more poised. He looked like he could handle the pressure a little bit better, which is something I didn't really expect, because, you know, coming into this, as soon as both of them were recruited, Holman Edwards was known as a game manager, a calming presence on the field, and Billy Wiles was known as the gunslinger, the guy who's going to throw it all the way down the field. And we've really seen the opposite of that in this fall camp, and I feel like that's been kind of a testament to what these guys are trying to improve on. But if I had to name a starting quarterback who I want to practice with the ones for 2 weeks, it would be Billy Wiles.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's Jackson Kennedy's prediction, and he's marking it down today. So we're marking it down, Billy Wiles for him. So for me, I'm going to go back to Fall Camp Day 1. We did these videos for Fall Camp Day 1, and I said that I think when you come into Fall Camp, people were saying Holman, you know, is going to be the starter. It felt like Holman was kind of in the lead, and Billy would have to take that job, right? So do I feel like Billy's taking the job is the question we're asking. And I think he has. Like, I think in these scrimmages, and I think in the fall camps where there were days that Holman looked better, I still think Billy Wiles took the job from Holman, especially from what we saw today. And granted, there have been great plays by both, and I don't think you can go wrong with either quarterback. I'm not sitting here saying Billy is light years ahead of Holman Edwards, because he's not. Like, this is how close this is that they still don't know. We don't know. Like, when Will Hall says there's separation, normally media is like, oh, it's that guy. But we don't even know who he's talking about. Like, we don't. So that's why we've been just speculating for 2.5 weeks. And, you know, Will Hall even said it in the presser, it's not just Southern Miss who's going through this. Ohio State, Alabama, several, Georgia, they kind of have their starter, but these programs as well all are dealing with this. So it's not like a unique thing to Southern Miss. But what I do think is a unique thing to Southern Miss is that these two quarterbacks are so similar but yet so oppositely different that it makes it such a more tough decision. Because I think, as I wrote on Big Gold Nation, Will Hall has to pick what style of quarterback he wants. If he wants, like Jackson was saying, the throw down the field, accurate deep ball threat that Holman brings and the running ability that Holman brings, or do you want the more accurate over the middle stuff? Well, today, to me, what caters to Will Hall's offense better is the over the middle, accurate side screens, slants, Billy can throw a deep ball every once in a while, and the play that Jay Stanley made was, to me, just a great play by Jay Stanley. I mean, he caught it and just, like, tapped his toes. It was not an easy interception. Like, it wasn't like Billy just threw it to him. Holman did throw it to the DB. Like, it was a bad throw. So, I mean, like I've said all fall camp, there's such little separation, so you look for little moments that bring the separation more towards one guy or the other. And to me, Billy starting with the ones today in a scrimmage on day 14 is important. I don't think we can sugarcoat that enough. Like, you can't sugarcoat that. It's important that Billy started with the ones today. Holman did go with the ones a little bit, but I think Billy starting with the ones, to me, makes me think he has the separation, and I think he's taking the job from Holman. A lot more to come on 4th Street Sports Show on our podcast. Go look for Apple Podcast. Watch the post-game press conferences here. Watch our other analysis here on SouthernMissStudentMedia.com. That's Jackson Kennedy. I'm Dima Mixon.